the Event Tech Cartel, what it is and why it keeps you stuck. There's something going on in event tech that nobody is naming out loud. It's not one platform, it's not one bad vendor, it's an entire system, a closed ecosystem of enterprise platforms that profit from complexity instead of clarity. Closed data, add-on intelligence, contract traps, and pricing that has nothing to do with value delivered. It all operates the same way, across the same players, with the same playbook. I've been calling it the Event Tech Cartel, and in this video, I'm going to explain what it is, how it works, and why it's the reason most event teams feel stuck even after spending 6 figures a year on software. Let's get into it. What the cartel actually is, the problem with event tech isn't that one platform is bad. It's that the entire ecosystem operates the same way, and it's designed to keep you locked in. Every major player in this space runs the same model. Contract first, value later. You sign a multi-year deal based on a polished demo, and then you spend the next 24 months trying to get the platform to do what you were told it could do. The data stays inside their walls. The reporting is surface level unless you pay for the analytics add-on. The integrations don't work natively, so you're paying for middleware just to connect it to your CRM. And when the contract renewal comes around, switching feels more expensive than staying, which is the entire point. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how the incentive structure works. When every vendor profits from complexity, from adding features, locking data, gating intelligence behind paywalls, the whole category starts to look the same. And that's what makes it a cartel. Not because they're coordinating, because they don't have to. The model itself keeps everyone in line. The model is broken. I first got exposure to this in 2022 when we switched over to our SaaS model. I thought we'd be competing with value-based propositions, but I quickly realized this was far from reality. I realized when we were in RFPs or migrating customers away from legacy cartel members, the stories I learned just disappointed me. Those customers had to start from scratch because they weren't allowed to carry over their data. Shockingly, this is still happening today. I quickly observed this was almost all of the vendors in the event tech space, operating the same way, holding their clients hostage by using their data as ransom. There was one story where a client had to literally pay for professional services to exit their contract. This practice carries on today, and well, now you see why I came up with calling it the Event Tech Cartel. By the way, if you've been feeling this same thing but couldn't quite put words to it, make sure you subscribe, because this is just the beginning of this conversation, and it's going to get a lot more specific from here. How it keeps you stuck. Now here's how the cartel works. It doesn't hold you hostage with a bad product. It holds you hostage with switching costs, data captivity, and just enough functionality that leaving feels irrational. Think about it this way. Your team spent months onboarding onto this platform. You've built workflows around it. Your historical data lives inside of it. Your integrations are wired through it. And now, even if you know you're overpaying or underserved, ripping it out means rebuilding everything from scratch. That's not a product mode, that's a trap. And it's the most profitable part of the model because it means retention doesn't have to come from delivering value. It comes from making the cost of leaving higher than the cost of staying. And the data piece is what makes it all worse. Most platforms don't give you clean access to your own event data. You can pull reports, sure, but try to export it, unify it across events, or connect it to your broader business intelligence. That's when you find out your data was never yours to begin with. As I mentioned earlier, I remember horror stories where clients had to pay for their own data or to help export it from legacy event tech. A few mention outrageous fees above $20,000 just to exit out of the contract. That's on the low side. What happens when you're literally holding your client's data and access above their heads as collateral? It isn't a nice feeling. This is the type of behavior I think needs a serious course correction, and the industry needs it now. Why this matters right now. The event industry is at a turning point, and the platforms that built the cartel are not the ones that are going to fix it. Enterprise event budgets are bigger than ever. The pressure to prove ROI is only going up. And yet, the tools that are supposed to help you do that are the same ones making it harder by keeping your data fragmented, your reporting shallow, and your costs inflated. The industry needs something different. Not another platform with more features, not another dashboard with better colors, something that actually gives event event teams the intelligence they need to make decisions without the contract traps and data captivity that come with the current model. As with any industry that is broken, a disruption needs to take place. I think the industry is headed into its next stage of evolution with simple, outcome-based pricing. This change will introduce innovation we've never seen before in event tech. So the question is, what does our industry look like if a model was built around transparency and intelligence instead of complexity and locking clients in? If you've been stuck inside this system and you've been wondering why nothing ever seems to change, now you have a name for it. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.